He called me, and I could hear it in his voice that something was wrong. He eventually revealed that he had been let go, and the manner in which they did it was shocking. I spent the first years of my career working for a large corporate dental office as an orthodontist. I would work 6 days a week, driving and managing 3 different offices, seeing about 60 to 75 patients a day. Here is proof of my income. It was my first job coming out of residency, and I thought I had it made. Quitting that job was one of the most pivotal moments in my career. It was one of the hardest decisions I've ever had to make. To anyone on the outside, it might have seemed like I had lost my mind. Truthfully, I didn't know if I had made the right decision and if I would land on my feet. But what I do know is that if I didn't take the chance and bet on myself, that I would be an old man filled with regret later in life. Hopefully, by sharing the story of how I stopped working for other people and started charting my own path, maybe it will help you do the same. So when you graduate as a young orthodontist, unless you have a parent or relative or connection in the field, it's really difficult to land on your feet. No one in my family is even remotely in the dental field, so I ended up working for a corporate chain as an associate orthodontist, where I worked as an employee without any possibility of ownership. One of my classmates from dental school was in a similar situation, no family connections, and we ended up working for the same corporate office, just in different locations. My classmate is a great guy, great orthodontist, and we would frequently chat about our experiences since we had this shared job. But about 2 years into it, he called me, and I could hear it in his voice that something was wrong. He eventually revealed that he had been let go, and the manner in which they did it was shocking. Back then, every employee would have these cards that you would swipe into a reader to clock in and out. And in the morning, when he got there to swipe his card, it was declined. Another orthodontist was already there to take over his spot, and nobody even told him that he'd been let go. It was an awkward scene, I'm sure, and the manager had to clarify that HR was supposed to talk to him a few days ago, but there was a mix-up and they just didn't get around to it. I learned that day a valuable lesson in the corporate world, that the company you work for does not care about you and will replace you in a flash. It happened to my friend that day, and who's to say that one day I wouldn't be the one? You're only great for the company until you're not, and another person will readily take over. So a new orthodontist did take over my friend's position. People moved on, and when my friend's name was brought up, invariably they would just say he's no longer with the company. I realized then that I could never be truly financially independent when some manager on top of me, has more control over my financial life than I do. For the first year I was working at this corporate office, it was okay, it was tolerable. I was gaining experience, my speed was picking up, but after that, things just seemed to plateau. I wasn't learning anything anymore. I felt stagnant, and it really started taking a toll on my mental health. I remember sitting in my car after work one day in the parking lot, just feeling completely burnt out and unmotivated. I felt caged up, and I felt like I was living the same day over and over again. I dreaded walking through the doors into work, and I realized I had absolutely no interest in producing anymore, so that a CEO sitting in corporate could look at his spreadsheets and laugh and congratulate his private equity investors. From that point on, a fire just lit in me. The feeling of wanting to strike out on my own and be my own boss superseded any fear and doubt that I had about my future. My why was to always put patients first and use the skills that I had cultivated and developed to genuinely help people. That's what success means to me. When you get super clear on what you want and you live and breathe it and you become obsessed with accomplishing that thing, then things just have a way of falling into place for you. When it comes to major life decisions, everyone has their own opinion, But what I found is that you need to have the courage to listen to your own voice. Maybe your purpose is to work for somebody else, which is totally fine. Or maybe it is to strike out on your own. But regardless, just make sure that you are being true to yourself and that the decision is yours. Now, if you follow any social media, you'll always see that entrepreneurship and being your own boss gets glamorized. But I get frustrated when people say to just leave your job and start your own thing. The reality is that there are bills, mortgage payments, rent payments, credit card bills, responsibilities, and that's just a part of life. It takes a special kind of person to strike out on their own, and that's why I had saved and invested aggressively during my time as an associate to make sure I had enough of a runway for starting my own office. When you have enough money, your time horizon increases to allow you to weather any storm that comes your way. Making this video just made me happy because it made me reflect on the journey I've been on and that I feel aligned with my purpose. At the end of the day, this is my journey. This is the path that I took and what I did to get there. Hopefully, by watching this video, you feel inspired to take a leap of faith and do the thing you've been meaning to do for so long.